what happens when FromSoft takes the already brutal, beautiful world of Elden Ring and inject it with a hit of adrenaline, throws you into a twisted hellscape with 2 other warriors, and sets the whole thing on fire with chaos. You get Elden Ring NightReign, a standalone co-op spin-off that takes everything you loved about the original Elden Ring and mixes it with the roguelike structure and battle royale intensity that makes it feel fresh again. I've spent 25 hours since it first dropped, and today I'm breaking down exactly what makes this remix of Souls formula work. This isn't just a review, it's a battle-tested rundown from someone whose blood died, crawled their way through every boss, randomizer, and rainstorm in this game has to offer. So let's get into it. At first you might think this is just Elden Ring with multiplayer baked in. You're wrong. This isn't co-op Elden Ring. This is Elden Ring rewritten as a survival gauntlet. You and 2 others drop into a completely warped version of Limgrave, a zone similar to longtime players, but here is mutated beyond recognition. Buildings aren't where you expect them to be, enemies don't behave like they used to, loot locations, combat zones, and entire biomes are shuffled. The entire world feels unstable and it's like it's collapsing on itself, and you're just trying to stay alive long enough to make a dent in it. Each run of NightReign is structured around 3-day cycle, which each day lasts in about 15 real-time minutes. That might not sound like a lot, but every second counts. You drop in at 1 level naked, desperate, and weak. You and your crew will have to run, fight, and loot and upgrade fast. Every kill, every rune, and every item matters, because at the end of the day comes a randomized boss and you will not survive under level. Trust me, I tried it. But there's more. While you're scrambling to gear up, the game introduces a signal mechanic, the Ring of Rain. This isn't just weather, it's a death wall. As the clock ticks down, the acid storm begins to shrink the playable area. Stay outside long enough and you're literally reduced to a puddle. Think Fortnite, but gothic, miserable, and full of screaming night. It creates a constant pressure to push forward, to keep moving, and to never get too comfortable. Every run has urgency, and you're not just fighting monsters, you're fighting time. The combat in NightReign is blistering. It's faster, nasty, and more relentless than anything FromSoft has ever done before. There's no time to turtle up and play careful. You're meant to dash in, cut down everything in your path, grab your loot, and get the hell out of there before the storm eats you alive. Every enemy varies wildly, from returning foes like the Tree Sentinel to now more meaner and more chaotic new nightmares like the Centipede, a multi-limb monstrosity that splits in itself into 2 flanks. Now meaner and more chaotic to new nightmares like the Centipede, a multi-limb monstrosity that splits itself into 2 and flanks you like it's been watching esports footage of your squad. And when the boss fight triggers at the end of the day, that's when things get really intense. The music swells, the Ring of Rain tightens into a noose, and the new boss appears, randomized every time. During one run, we faced off against the reimagined version of Gladius, a towering Cerberus-like demon that requires absolute coordination between our squad. We were timing ultimate, staggering cooldowns, and calling out like there was MMO raid. And even then, we barely survived. Each boss has distinct mechanics and patterns that will tap your adaptability in ways the base game never quite did. You're not just picking up from Elden Ring's long lost vague archetypes here. Gone are the prisoner and the wretch types that made new players Google what the hell that even means. Instead, NightReign gives you a clean list of 8 distinct heroes, 4 of which are playable in the preview and the launch build. There's Wilder, your all-around melee DPS with a hook shot skill that lets him zip across the battlefield or yank enemies straight into his blade. Guardian is a heavy tank, slow but damn near unkillable, with the mini tornado skill that can clear out crowds. Duchess is a rogue, lightning fast with a restage ability that replays her last attack and doubles the damage. And Recluse is your ranged mage with vampiric abilities that marks enemies and siphons help with every hit. These characters feel tight, they feel focused, and each one has a unique skill and powerful ultimate attack, and when they used in combination, they can turn the tide of any battle in seconds. My team eventually settled into the rhythm. Guardian dropped his dive bomb ultimate to stagger a boss, Duchess restages it for double impact, and Wilder zipped behind the target to finish the job. We were a damn war machine by the end. It's the sense of synergy that makes NightReign pop. especially compared to the slower and more methodical pacing of the traditional Souls games. What's even cooler is how FromSoft forces you into thinking tactically about these heroes. Each map segment you drop has different environmental hazards. One run might feature a rotting swamp that zaps your health consistently. Another might be a field full of poison spores that require ranged weapons and a clever movement to survive. Choosing the right hero for the terrain and the enemy lineup has become just as crucial as the fight itself. As far as progression, it's streamlined. Gone is the agony of deciding where to drop that one stat point. In NightReign, leveling is done auto location optimized for your hero's roles. You can mash through it and get right back into the action, and you can keep the pressure on. You no longer need to stand at a cliff edge baiting if you're gonna survive the fall. There's no fall damage in NightReign either. If you want to leap off the edge into a pit of monsters, go ahead and do it. With wall jumps and spectral hawks, traveling in this game is chaotic and fast. The revival system deserves a special shout out as well. When a teammate goes down, they enter a crawl state with a near death bar. Instead of kneeling and channeling a long revive, your squad actually attacks you into bringing you back. It sounds crazy, but it actually works. You can use range attacks, magic, and anything to knock them back into the fight, and it makes every revival an action decision. Is it safe to revive? Can I risk it? Can you snipe your buddy from afar while dodging fireballs? It's wild, and it's one of the smartest mechanics in the game. And yes, you can also solo play NightReign as well. If you don't want to squad up, the enemy health pool scaled down a little bit. It's still tough, but not impossible. The only odd thing is you can't play as duos. It's either solo or squads of 3. Hopefully that gets patched later on, because it feels like a missed opportunity for people who just want to team up with one other friend. NightReign sands down a lot of the rough edges from the original Elden Ring. You don't need to actually rest at the sites of grace to heal. Just walk near one. You don't need to spend 10 minutes trying to understand the obscure item descriptions. The game respects your time. It shuttles you along with the speed of an arcane shooter, but it never loses the trademark FromSoft bite. You still get punished if you're careless. You still feel that fear when the music changes and something massive lands behind you, but now it's all packed into a shorter and more intense burst. And best of all, this isn't a live service game. Once you buy it, that's it. No microtransactions, no battle pass, no limited time cosmetics, or no daily quests. FromSoft has confirmed that this is a full game experience and you get everything up front. It's honestly refreshing in an industry obsessed with squeezing players for every single dollar. NightReign is a smart evolution, not a replacement. It's a brutal mix that respects its root, but isn't afraid to sprint into a new direction. Is it perfect? No. The difficulty curve in solo mode can spike hard. Some hero abilities feel a little overtuned. The lack of duo mode really hurts the game, but as far as a complete package, it's incredible. Again, after 25 hours of gameplay, boss kills, failed run, and triumphant revives, I can confidently say that NightReign isn't just a worthy follow-up, it's a bold experiment that really paid off. It doesn't just remix Elden Ring, it redefines what a Souls-like game can be in 2025. So if you're on the fence, get off of it, grab your squad, jump into the storm, and carve your path through this beautiful nightmare. I'm Andre Harris, and I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 9:30 Eastern Time. Link is in the description, along with my Discord and all of my other channels. Come hang out, talk games, and get in the grind with the community. If you like this review, stay tuned for the next one. And as always, stay fast, stay safe, stay lethal, and as always, stay alpha.